let's go back to the 1970s and act like it's the 1950s and talk about that time Happy Days took on racism. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, standing up again for you. I don't know if I like this standing up, to be honest with you. You can't see my stuff back here, so don't worry, I'm probably going to alternate. If there's a video I feel like I need to sit down, I will, and stand up. Stand up probably be the more fun ones, like this one here, where we're just having fun. So if you missed the desk, don't worry, it will be back. I'm just testing out this stand-up thing all week. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to do something a little different. And so I like to try on this channel to think outside the box. Do something I haven't done before. That way you don't get tired of seeing the same old thing every time. I mean, we only can talk about action figures 100,000 times a month. We have to shake it up and do something different. So you might not like this video. I might not like this video. May never see anything like it again. May see something like it once a month. Who knows? But we're going to look at a classic television episode of Happy Days. And not just any episode of Happy Days. We're going to look at the one where Happy Days took on racism. And we're going to find that they took on a lot more than just racism in this episode. Now, of course, I can't play the whole show here, so we're just going to look at some of the clips. But to set this up, this episode, if you haven't seen it, is from the first season of Happy Days. It's actually the last episode of the first season. Back when the Fonz didn't have a leather jacket yet, remember that? It just had the windbreaker. Yeah, the Fonz with a windbreaker. Anyway, this was from the last season of season 1. And to set up the story, Mr. C, Mr. Cunningham's old war buddy, comes back to town to get married, and we find out he's a black guy. So we're going to look at some of the clips of the show and talk about it, because I find it kind of fascinating, to be honest with you, because this was filmed in the 1970s, early 70s, 73, and they touch on a lot of subjects that we still talk about today, but they wouldn't dare talk about on network television, at least not on a comedy show like this. And honestly, they do tackle a lot of issues on all kinds of sides without making everyone look bad and evil. But I like to watch this episode, something about these special episodes. They did a lot in the 70s and 80s. You know, you had the bicycle shop one on the Different Strokes. Everyone remembers that one. You had these special episodes where they kind of wanted to teach you something and entertain you at the same time. And I'm always fascinated about those episodes, those special episodes. So sit back and let's watch a little Happy Days.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're going to rock around the clock tonight. Hey, glad rags on.
Man, what a great theme song. Now, let's start at the show here where the Cunninghams just got back from grocery shopping and Mr. C's war buddy turns up at their house.
I'd like you to meet my old army buddy, Fred Washington, my wife, Mary, and my son, Richard.
How do you do?
Oh, it's nice to meet you, Fred.
Pleasure to meet you. Hi.
Oh, this is a surprise. I didn't know that we didn't expect. What I mean is, we have watermelon all the time.
Look at Mrs. C here. She's holding a watermelon when the guy comes in and she's all nervous about it. Like she doesn't, we eat watermelon every day. It's just a watermelon. Relax, Mrs. C. It doesn't mean you're a racist because you eat watermelon. Everybody loves watermelon. I love watermelon. You love watermelon. I don't want to meet anyone that doesn't love watermelon. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Puerto Rican. I don't care what you are. Everybody loves watermelon, right?
Joni, what are you doing?
She's doing her Invisible Man imitation.
Jody, please take it off. It's cute, but white hoods make me nervous.
A Klan joke? Really? A Klan joke? Can you imagine if they did this joke today on TV? There would be a hashtag saying cancel the show before the show was even open. And what is this? Look how she's just sitting there.
Joni, what are you doing?
She's doing her Invisible Man imitation.
Look, she's just sitting there with that used handkerchief on her head. I wonder whose handkerchief it is. Sitting there with glasses on it. It makes no sense. It's not like she's trying to be the invisible person. It's just like the writers wanted to find a way to do a Klan joke, and this was the best thing they could come up with.
It's been a long time since I sat down and had dinner with white people.
Yeah, well, we understand, Fred.
Yes, we do. Just try to forget we're white.
Let's be honest. There's some people, even if you try, you can't help but notice they're white.
I just can't believe that's how we look 12 years ago.
I can believe it. I must have put on over 5 pounds since those days.
You don't have to rub it in. Hey, look at this one. Me with that cute little nurse Sally. You remember her?
How can I forget? You used to ring her so often we nicknamed you the Phantom Buzzer.
Oh, boy, she was really something else.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Did Mr. Cunningham cheat on Mrs. Cunningham? He said these pictures were from 12 years ago. Okay, I might give you that Joni might be about 12, but come on, Richie's got to be at least 16. I thought they were just going to tackle racism, but looks like they're going to tackle adultery also. Mr. C, I can't look at you the same anymore. You cheated on Mrs. C. Tell me it's not true.
You understand that you might be the only white couple at the wedding?
The only ones?
Yeah, Carol's family doesn't have many friends on this side of town.
Look how worried Mrs. C is that her family is going to be the only white family at this place. Like, they're all going to try to steal their purse and rob them.
Could I use your phone? I'm sorry to bother you, but I was talking to my mother last night, and Mr. Finley ripped the phone right off the wall.
Help yourself.
Oh, I'll use the one in the kitchen.
Whoa, what's going on here? They just played it off like nothing? This lady comes to use their phone. Why does she need to use their phone? Because her husband, I guess it's her husband, Mr. Finley, ripped it off the wall. Why? Because this lady was just talking to her mother. What kind of abusive, drunk asshole is this? You just ripped the phone off the wall because your wife's talking to her mother? Man, they're teaching us about racism, adultery, and now they're going to throw in domestic violence into this episode? Everything you could want.
Excuse me, Mr. Cunningham, but I couldn't help noticing that there's a man in the kitchen.
Oh, yes, that's Fred. He's staying here. Would you like to meet him?
Meet him? Oh, I don't think that's...
Look at this racist old lady. She walks into the kitchen, sees a black man helping himself to some watermelon, and what does she do? Slowly backs out of the kitchen before the black man sees her. And then she goes back into the living room to tell Mr. C to let him know that there's a black man in his kitchen. She's so shocked that he's wearing a business suit. It's not like he broke into the place or anything, but she's so shocked that he's in the kitchen and she wants to tell him. And you can look at her face and know she wants to use the N-word, but she doesn't want to say it just in case they are friends, like they are. And then Mr. C asks her, do you want to meet him? And she looks like she's about to vomit. She's trying her best to get the hell out of the house. She'd rather be back home watching Mr. Finley rip stuff out of the wall.
Fred's marrying a hometown girl here on Sunday.
Oh, that's nice. Are you planning to live around here?
So what does she want to know about this guy? If he's going to move into their neighborhood. Now, I know she's an old racist lady, and you're probably thinking that's why she's so worried. But no, come on, she's probably not. She's probably thinking about her husband, Mr. Friendly, at home. If he gets that upset that she's talking to her mother on the phone, that he rips the phone out of the wall, you know she really doesn't want to go back home to her drunk, racist husband and let him know what she just saw over at the Cunningham's house.
Mary, you don't want us to go to the wedding, do you?
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to. Your prejudice is coming through loud and clear.
Damn, Mr. C.
I never met an undertaker, never met a Negro, never met an undertaker. Howard, I've got to get out of the house more.
Well, if you ever do meet one and you say that to him, you might be able to meet an undertaker that same day.
He can't be the best man.
Why? What do you got against Howard being the best man?
Nothing really. It's that he's not quite the color I had in mind. I have nothing against white. I treat everyone the same.
Can you believe that? They're showing racism on both sides.
And you're going to get funny looks from your neighbors, and maybe more than just funny looks. Besides, you've got to live here, not me.
Will you give me that, Richard? I said no paddleball. We're having an important discussion.
Why did Richie Cunningham just start playing paddleball all of a sudden? Here's these people are sitting around having a deep conversation, and all of a sudden this 16-year-old kid just starts playing with his paddleball. He's way too old to be playing with these. Have you seen anyone over the age of 7 playing with a paddleball? It's like the writers were trying to set something up for a payoff later, and this is all they could come up with.
Dad,
Please, Richard, I'm thinking.
Oh, I see what it was. I guess Tom Bosley had in his contract that he had to show off his paddleboard skills. And being the last one of the season, they had to get in here somehow.
I really am.
Did you see that? Watch this again.
I really am.
Richie, you can't even pour milk right. I guess you got too much going on with all the racism going on in that neighborhood. Not even to mention the domestic abuse next door. And probably all that red hair you keep finding in the tub.
From our kitchen.
Oh, Officer Kincaid.
Well, looks like Mr. Washington was caught walking in black. And what's this guy doing walking around the neighborhood, what is it, about 1 o'clock in the morning? Wearing a three-piece suit? I mean, come on, that has to look kind of suspicious. If I looked out my window at 1 o'clock in the morning and saw a guy walking around with a business suit, I would assume he worked for the IRS and seeing if that boat I got was really a business expense. And who wants to bet that it was the drunk, abusive husband next door, Mr. Friendly, that called the police on Mr. Washington?
I just wanted to let you know that your police force is on its toes.
It's more likely that they've got their foot in their mouth because he is staying here.
He is staying here. Oh, I didn't know. I mean, well, he's a stranger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all know what you mean.
Let me get this right. The police saw him walking around the neighborhood about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning wearing a business suit, and their plan was to take him over to Mr. C's house, wake them up, just so he can say, hey, look what we found in your white neighborhood.
I'll tell you, whoever sits in this one better have a good sense of balance, or you're going to have a lawsuit on your hands. Right? Yeah.
Why is he even bringing a broken chair into the living room to set up? And did you notice it looks nothing like the other chairs? But you would think with a broken leg, he wouldn't even bring it in. You can tell the writers here are setting something up. Or maybe it was the next door neighbor, Mr. Friendly, that took the leg off the chair. He was going to beat his wife with it, who he was already upset with, and blame it on Mr. Washington, who he called the police on the night before, walking around the neighborhood. The perfect crime.
So you're going to have a bunch of black people in here, huh? Well, Fonzie, I don't think that they like being called black. They're Negroes. Hey, I didn't mean anything by it, you know? I mean, I'll take any guy as long as he's cool, right? I'd rather know a cool black guy than an uncool white guy and vice versa, if you get my drift.
And there's the Fonz being all cool, telling it like it is. He'll hang out with anybody if they cool. He don't care what color they are. Did you notice how good he explained that to Richie? But then he added, catch my drift? It's not like he was hinting at anything here. Sure, we all caught your drift because you said exactly what you wanted to say.
In the bonds of holy...
Excuse me.
Why did he strike that pose before he ran off?
Marion, I'm going out to talk to Fred. Will you try and keep these people entertained?
These people? These people? Not you two, Mr. C.
And another thing, I'm not too choked up about this chair. Look at this.
And there we go, the payoff for the chair. But the payoff wasn't funny at all. No one even fell.
The Smith, a mighty man is he, with large and sinewy hands.
Even if you tried your hardest, could you make a family look more white?
Listen, Fred, when I was a kid in the 30s, things were terrible. Okay, here it is, the 50s, and they're a little better, and who knows what it's going to be like in the 60s.
Wait a second here. So Mr. C was a kid in the 30s. This takes place in the 50s. Are they trying to tell me he's in his mid-30s? It's clear he's over 50.
You remember our wedding night?
Howard, we've been married 21 years. You can stop apologizing.
Woohoo! Mr. C with the comeback. Telling Mr. C he's a 2-minute brother.
What are you doing?
I'm sending a piece of wedding cake over to Mrs. Finley.
Wait a minute. Now send it.
Why do they care if this old racist lady gets some of the cake? And why send the topping over also? Are they trying to trigger the drunk, racist husband to beat her up? It makes no sense. Doesn't the couple that got married usually keep the top of the wedding cake? And where's Ralph, Mouth, and Posse during all this? Did they refuse to come to the house because there was a black person there?
I'm walking.
Well, that's a look at Happy Days. Like I said, it's a little something different, and it's kind of odd looking back because, like I said, I don't think you could do this episode today. Maybe you can, maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like it. So let me know in the comments below. You like to see more of these videos? Did you enjoy this one? Or is it horrible and I should never do it again? If you like this video, who knows? Maybe next time we can take a look at the time the Fonz went to the Deep South to stop racism.
I'll see you later, Ned!
As always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that like button so I know you like my content. And most of all, YouTube knows you like my content and they'll put it out there for more people to see. And if you want to support this channel, head over to patreon.com. Links in the description below or up there. See, I pointed up there a little too soon. Or buy some cool t-shirts over at Junkman.com. Thank you for watching. Be back very soon.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.